Welcome to Powerful Group, world's first ROI-based collaboration and networking platform designed to connect visionary investors and high-profile entrepreneurs. I'm Vasu Pawar, CEO, founder of Step to Step Up organization and the founder of Powerful Group. I'm so fascinated to introduce our guest today, Aidan Uttinger. Aidan is a serial entrepreneur, philanthropist with 20 years of experience creating and building brands across multiple verticals. He has dedicated his life to being the first person in history to commoditize love and turn it into practical and useful currency that changes the world. Aidan, a very warm welcome to you through our Powerful Group platform all the way from Australia. I'm assuming you're in Australia, Aidan?
Right now, I'm based in the south of Brazil.
I know you're everywhere. So we feel blessed to receive so much love through your blessings and through your initiatives and the world's greatest experiment. And how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Vasu. Good to be here.
We all see the obvious in our lives. When I looked around, one of the things that drew my attention was the unemployment, lack of education, lack of skills, the homelessness, the impoverished communities, all of this stuff. And so all of this comes out of, gives rise to the homelessness and the suicidal thoughts in people's minds, or the path to drugs, or all of those things, or even school shootings that we see nowadays. My mind always works on trying to do something unique to solve problems. I've always been a problem solver. I notice that you have a passion for finding creative ways to solve world's most pressing issues. How did this idea come across your mind, and why was this so important to you?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is that, you mentioned a lot of things that we have, if you like, an imbalance in the world right now. And one thing that I observed when trying to figure out what a solution might look like was that it seemed like every problem, when I looked at it, it was almost like you could strip it back to the most basic part, and there was an absence of love somewhere. Someone wasn't getting enough love, or someone, it seemed like that was the problem. And so I think that's important to start with, just to let you know how my brain was thinking about why we need a love-based solution that could perhaps spread across many different areas that we need help with right now.
I think
but how it came about was I grew up in New Zealand, and as a young kid, I had a little bit of a tumultuous childhood, and I ended up basically running away to another country, and I ended up an illegal alien in the Philippines, which was about as far away as I could get from New Zealand. And when I was there, I was an illegal alien. I was taken in by a Filipino family, and one day I asked my Filipino dad how I could repay him for saving my life. And he told me that when I'm in a position to pay it forward to someone, to do that and could consider the debt repaid. And that just struck me. That moment has stuck in my head. That was over 20 years ago now. It stuck in my head, and I really made a promise to myself in that moment that I would find a way to pay forward that love that they'd given me to as many people as possible while they're still around, so that I can show them that seed of love, if you like, they planted with me, has grown into something maybe much bigger than they ever anticipated. But that to me felt like what I needed to do to really pay homage to the love that they'd given me.
I mean, it fascinated me that at the age of 16, which I don't even know what I was doing, on your 16th birthday, you decide to spin the globe. I mean, why didn't I think I would do something like that? Spin the globe and let's see where the globe takes you. And that's where you took yourself to. I mean, what was running through your mind? I mean, were you worried about things and as to what's going to happen to me? Or were you thinking about it being a better place than where you were at, and you were ready to take any chances in your life?
Yeah, I don't remember being scared at all. I just scared, really. I mean, but what you said was pretty much spot on. I didn't feel like I was where I was supposed to be, or even close to it. So it literally felt to me that spinning a globe and ending up on the other side of the world, I would have more likelihood of being closer to the truth, or to where I was supposed to be. That's how like a fish out of water I felt where I was. So it really was the only thing that made sense. It was to get as far away and then start from there. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, Adam. I love your story a lot, You are the founder of the world's greatest experiment. Our viewers are anxious to know what this experiment is all about and what was your driving force in bringing this experiment to life?
Well, firstly, the world's greatest experiment is an innovation, if you like, in the charity nonprofit space. Because I feel like the current model of, people relying on generosity who are living in poverty, it seems like the system of nonprofits and charities right now, it needs a revamp, and we need to apply some entrepreneurial and out of the box thinking if we're ever going to solve these problems permanently, like poverty. And I think that we have to start trying different models, ones that can grow exponentially faster than the problem. And so the world's greatest experiment is my, throw in the hat of my idea of the system that I think could work. And essentially it's based around a lot of the science that's been coming out lately. But essentially it's based around the idea that love and human energy in the form of focused, intentional energy from the heart can change lives and impact the world we live in. And up until fairly recently, it's always been a bit of classed as a woo-woo kind of spiritual kind of way of thinking. But science is really starting to catch up now with the great sort of spiritual teachings. And I know like in India, you guys are a lot more advanced when it comes to this stuff, and the meditating and this kind of thing is something that's more heavily ingrained into your culture than it is in the West. But the idea is like, now what if through technology, we could harness massive amounts of love, focused heart energy from humans around the world and direct it where it's needed. It could be to a cause, to a person who needs love, or perhaps to a product or service or a business. Which would give us the opportunity to create a whole new marketplace for products and services that are measurably infused with love. So all of the love that is sent from our people around the world out to our products and services is measured and mapped on our technology platform. So it's quantifiable. So a member of the public can see all the love that is in any given product, right down to where the love came from, who sent it. It really just is I wanted to create a model where we could potentially change the world with love. And this is what I came up with. So
that's awesome. And Aidan, that's really awesome. Like even I look at the homeless and all that, and you see a lot of organizations, just like you said just now, they're giving blankets and they're giving food and all this stuff. But nobody's thinking of how do we eradicate the problem, from the roots. Why does this happen? And I think your love project is awesome because people do need love, and that love takes you to a different level, And even if an adult holds the hand of one child, and takes that child in the right direction, you just imagine how much love we can spread all over the world. And your own experience is a testament to that, So our Powerful Group is about creating entrepreneurs. It's about creating 50,000 job opportunities, investing 2,500 investments, right? So in the world's greatest experiment, you talk about revolutionizing poverty alleviation, generating employment, exporting love farms, love tracking, transforming the world altogether. So tell me about that. How would we connect that up with yours?
Yeah, well, the idea is simple, really. Like the more that I thought about how we as humanity, as we're only just starting to understand the power that love has, but it's scientifically backed now that it's real. My problem was like, well, where do we get this love from? Where do we get a massive amount of love to test this? And I obviously wanted to make a difference in the world in some of the hardest hit areas. And it struck me when I read an article that there are more people with access to smartphones and Wi-Fi now than there are clean water and sanitation and nutrition. I realized that perhaps where our love generating engine is these world's poorest cities where they're struggling to provide So I read an article that was stating that there's now an official statistic that there are more people with access to smartphones and Wi-Fi now than there are clean water and basic sanitation. And it was at that moment it really struck me that that could be where the engine is for us to generate the love that we need for this experiment. Because what we could do is we could get people to donate from around the world, or businesses that wanted to choose individuals that wanted to receive streams of love, and take that and farm that out to our love farms, which are the world's poorest communities, and the people that live there, we call them our love farmers. And basically every time they complete a love meditation, they get a love credit, which is good for cash in their community. They can use it to buy food, medical, anything that they need. And so what it allows us to do is to kill two birds with one stone. We get to try this experiment out of what happens in your business or your life if you're streaming love in massive amounts, which is interesting and potentially could propel humanity in a totally different direction if we find what I suspect we will. But the other side of it too is if our workforce is people who have lifted out of poverty, who now have the ability to take care of those that they love and look after their communities, that's an incredible place for us to get this love, right? So it's kind of like an experiment, a multi-dimensional experiment where we're really doing a number of things. We're really seeing how love can change businesses and lives, and how it can lift and be a solution to lifting people out of poverty. So I think that's the kind of thinking we need to have moving forward. We need to come up with ways that can grow faster than the problem. And this to me just made a lot of sense.
So well said, Aidan. We need a lot of more people who think like you. So I believe strongly in the art of paying forward. And you talk about your radical new evolution in the art of giving.
Yeah. So when any company who participates in a CSR program or any individual that makes a donation to a charity or nonprofit, they're always doing it because they want to do some good in the world, right? And so that's great, and that works to a degree. But as I was saying before about needing an exponentially faster growing solution, I felt like what if the giver got something back? And I know you don't give to get something back. That's not the point of it.
Right.
But if I could give and I got back this love, and this love made me more abundant or my company more abundant, I could give more. And that would change the whole model of me saying, okay, well, I've got X amount spare right now to donate. I'm going to donate it. I can, rather than doing that month after month, now I can do that. And if the experiment works, I've got more to donate later. So we're continually able to take more and more people out of poverty. So changing the paradigm of giving is really just like experimenting with innovative ways where what if the company that donated and did this good through the world's greatest experiment, just like they would in any nonprofit, what if they got back the very fuel that helped them accelerate and grow their business at a dramatically, increased rate? That would be something that would be a model that could scale really fast. If we can prove that businesses grow faster with love in it, that people want to buy produce and food that's got love infused into it, and they're willing to pay a little more, perhaps too, then we can bring more and more companies on, more and more people are consuming love infused products, and more love farmers and communities around the world can be lifted out of poverty.
I think you're absolutely right, because I see a lot of multimillionaires and all that, but I don't see the giving side of it, at all. And they may have, some of them have even stories like where they're nothing at one point and all of a sudden they are multimillionaires, but they never think about their past and see how they could help people who are in those situations. And I really like what you're doing, and that's exactly where my mindset is. It can't be pay forward, So whenever we're helping people, I think we should teach our children and everyone that we help to pay forward and help a few other people that they could benefit from this whole platform,
Yeah. I think when you pay something forward too, like there's different ways of paying it forward. If I just give someone who needs food, that's great. And all kudos to anybody that does that. But if I can give that person a skill, or if I can help them realize some value that they have that they may not have realized yet, like in themselves, and I can teach them to utilize that, generate an income, and become a better person at the same time, I'm really empowering them, because they're no longer relying on a handout. They're learning that they have something valuable. And if we can prove that the world needs it and create the demand for it, then they're now in demand members of the workforce. We're going back to the Powerful Group's goal of 50,000 jobs, was it?
Yeah, 50,000.
Yeah. Every single one of these people in a community now are often uneducated. There's more often than not no work available, but they don't have qualifications. They don't have a skill set necessarily, but they all know how to love. If we can convert those people into members of society that contribute, that earn money and help the economy and become good and useful citizens and productive citizens, I feel like that's a major win. And that's where there's a massive untapped workforce right now that would love the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. We all know that the world is all motion. You either move forward or backwards. There is no stopping by. What stand would you take to utilize this platform, the Powerful Group, to amplify your vision and mission?
Well, one thing that ever since I started this project, and ever since it was just that seed of an idea, I've always been fascinated by India. I've been to India. It's my fiance's favorite country. She lived there for 3 years. And I've always thought that it would be so interesting to see how people would adopt something like this in a country like India versus in a country like the United States or New Zealand or Australia, where I'm from. My sense is that from the people I've spoken to, it's not such a crazy idea when I speak to my friends in India and Nepal, and they're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. We get it. We get the importance of meditation and love, and, whereas in the West, it's a little more out there, So I would love to, I'm excited at the possibility of finding amazing companies in India, the birthplace of meditation, who want to be the first companies in the world to infuse love into what they do and sort of get in behind a movement like this. Because the great thing about sending love is it can come from anywhere. It doesn't have to come from any one place. So the companies that get involved in our experiment can be in any country in the world. But as we grow it out, we want to set up love farms all over the place. And to me, India seems like a country that would be the natural home of, I could see us having hundreds of love farms all over India. And I feel like it would be really fantastic to be able to share that part of the culture with the West, to be able to show how easily and how naturally this was adopted in and taken on by Indian companies. I think would be a great lesson for the West. And I'd love to show that to them.
I like that thought completely. It's like I never even thought of that as well. If we could utilize that in India, then you can replicate that same thing in the other countries.
Yeah, and I know a couple of things that I've found out about India is that there is a certain percentage of company profits that go to CSR initiatives. So companies have to do this anyway. They already understand meditation and energy a lot of the time. It's part of the culture. So the idea that there could be a way to utilize that CSR budget for something that could help you grow your company while you're doing good, I think that's got to be an attractive proposition. So I'm fascinated to see how this lands in India. And for a country that's such a big exporter of goods all around the world, India, I just love the idea of what if we could make India the largest exporter of love around the world. Because it's all measured. I mean, that would be the kind of statistic that I think the country would really love to get behind, that we're not just big producers of this and that, we're actually the biggest producer of love, and here's the data to show it.
Yeah, that's really an awesome thought, and that will work for us because it's all there. It's just the matter of sharing it with the world, so it's very nice. Aidan, I want to have the platform open for you, and any thoughts in your mind and anything that you would like to share with our viewers I would really appreciate that.
Oh, look, really, I think it's exciting, the possibility of once I met you and Kunal at Powerful, it really opened me up to a whole other realm of possibility of different cultures and people and businesses that could be interested and resonate with this. And right from the first day I spoke to you about this, it so clearly resonated with you. And I just thought that was awesome, because it's a hard concept for some people to wrap their head around, more so in the West, I think. But I really believe it's the way forward, and I'm just excited that we've come across you guys and what you're doing, and I'm super excited to help put a big dent in that 50,000 person target. If we can fill up a bunch of those with love summers around India, I think that would be pretty great.
Yes, I think it's an awesome thought. Kunal and I have worked really tremendously on just this thought, and it's amazing for both of us to actually meet people such as yourself who thinks in such deep. When I heard about the greatest experiment, I said, "Oh my God! I never even thought that somebody would think of something like that to spread so much love throughout the world." And we are all about global. The world is really for all of us. It's something which we should be able to share everything and anything with the globe. Like we are creating a platform, the educational side of it, and an institution, and the world could take advantage of that, because I know that India is where the education is really prominent and everybody knows about it. So here we have something to give the world, and let's do that. Let's share this knowledge and experience that we have from this standpoint, and share it with the world. So if there's anyone that needs that kind of knowledge, whether it's about the AI, whether it's about the technology, whatever it might be, we are here to help them, and that's our goal. So it's so many ways we can bring the world together and make it a happy place for everyone to live. So I'm so glad to have this talk with you, Aidan. And I know the world is going to be flattered with your love experiment. There's no question in my mind. If anyone of our guests would like to connect with you, Aidan, please visit our website at powerfulgroup.com/connect, and they can all connect with you and find out more about your experiment and be a part of that. We would like sponsors. We would like everyone that would like to be a part of a huge project that you have in mind. And I know that you'll be extremely successful in the world. When you have something that you want to give, there's nothing that you're asking from us. And that's amazing. All right.
Yeah, I would love to put just one final call out, just a final call out to any of your listeners. But we are looking for the first companies in the world, but certainly the first in India ever in the history of, as far as we know it, to be measurably infused with love, meaning your customers and staff will be able to see the love flowing to your goods or services. So I just want to really reiterate that the opportunity is here to be a part of something, and be the first companies to do this, to take this step and to be part of this experiment. I think it will be an exciting journey for everybody.
I agree with you totally. So thank you so much, Aidan, for your time, your efforts, and all the beautiful things that you've shared with our viewers and all of us. And let's make this happen, okay? And that's the goal.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to working with you guys.
So thank you from our Powerful Group platform, and so nice of you to join us. And we have lots of things to do, a lot of work to do for going forward.
My pleasure. And I look forward to it.